What's up, outsiders? I think I'm ready to ditch my clunky black diamond headlamp for this lightweight Nitecore NU25 headlamp. Stay tuned for my full review. I'm Mike and this is Outside Chronicles. If you're new to the channel, we talk about all things outside. Hiking, backpacking, paddling, gear reviews, and how-tos to help you get outside. If this interests you, be sure to click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you don't miss any videos. It really helps my channel grow. So I first learned about the Nitecore NU25 from a friend I was hiking with. We had gotten done with our hike and he locked his keys in his car. It was getting dark and we started comparing headlamps. That's what guys do, right? And I had my Black Diamond Storm. He had this Nitecore NU25. And I could not believe how bright and wide this beam was compared to my Black Diamond Storm. Then there's no comparison in the size. So I tested this on my Saranac 6 Ultra attempt. We had to use headlamps in the beginning, at the end, and it performed really, really well. I actually had to lead the hike most of the time because my friend said this guy was casting a shadow on his Black Diamond spot and he couldn't see really good. So it just shows you how powerful this little headlamp is. So I'm going to go over all of the specs and the functionality right here, and then I'm going to head outside in the dark to show you guys a comparison between this Nitecore NU25 and my Black Diamond Storm. So the headlamp plus the strap weighs 53 grams or 1.8 ounces. You'll see the documentation online and what comes with the actual unit to be a little bit different. The Nitecore is in a waterproof case. It comes in black, white, and yellow. I would suggest going with either first choice yellow or second choice white. I tend to stay away from the black for things I need at night because if I drop them, it's a little bit harder to see. So when we compare the Nitecore NU25 to the Black Diamond Storm, there's almost no comparison when you talk about size and weight. The Black Diamond with its 4 batteries weighs about 113 ounces. Compared to just 53 here, so it's more than double the weight. And when you look at the size comparison, this Nitecore is so much smaller and lighter. When you have it on, it feels like you're not even wearing it. After you wear this Black Diamond for a while, you definitely feel it and you get that little indentation on your forehead. The Nitecore NU25 comes with a 610 milliamp battery that's rechargeable via micro USB and charges in about 2.5 hours. The documentation says that charge on standby will last about a year. So the battery is kind of a sticking point for me, and it's been what has prevented me from using a USB rechargeable battery. I've always wanted to be prepared, and with my Black Diamond, even though it's 4 batteries, I can throw 4 batteries or 8 batteries in my pack and know that I have a backup. With this, I need to carry some sort of battery with me to be able to recharge this. One of the cool features of this headlamp is if you drain its batteries, you can actually connect it to an external battery and still use the headlamp. However, with this micro USB on the bottom, it kind of gets in your way. The cable will always be kind of in your eyes. So I am going to look to see if I can get a USB with a right angle. I know they make them. So in order to make sure this guy is always charged, one of the pluses is as I leave my house, I know I'm always going to be at a full charge. But if I'm on the trail and I run out of batteries on this, I can't replace the battery, so I'm going to have to carry some sort of external battery with me. And my solution for this is actually going to be a flashlight that has a battery in it with a USB where I can actually charge this. So if I run out of batteries on this headlamp, I'll be able to just put this on and throw this back in my pack, and I should be able to still use my headlamp. For longer trips, not really that big of a deal because I usually have a battery pack with me that I charge my GoPro and my phone and my watch. So I'll always have that on a longer trip. But for the day hikes, I think this flashlight will act as a backup and also as a battery source for my headlamp. This headlamp has 3 brightness, high, medium, and low, plus a turbo mode, and that will get you between 5, 8, and 160 hours of life. And when you have the turbo mode on, you get about 30 minutes total, but it goes in 30-second increments. They actually have a protection on here to turn it off after 30 seconds because it has a tendency to overheat on that turbo mode. So what I really like about the Nitecore is its functionality. It's a really dead simple headlamp, which they should be, right? I've always hated my Black Diamond because it's only got one button and it works kind of funky. You know, right now I have it in the different light modes. You gotta keep pushing the button multiple times, and I've locked myself out of it. It's really hard to use with that one button. I usually have to refer back to the product manual before a trip just to understand the different modes of the headlamp. This Nitecore, on the other hand, is really, really simple. It's got two buttons on top. It's got a main button and the red button. And if you just push the main button, it turns it on for the low, medium, and then push it again for the high. And then if you hold it down, it'll turn on that turbo mode. Then you just turn it off. The red mode works exactly the same. First click is low, high, and then third click is actually a blinker. The headlamp also has an SOS and beacon mode, which is a little more confusing to get into, but really not too bad. So if I press and hold the main button, that'll turn on the SOS mode. You can see it's flashing SOS, and I can turn that off. And then to go in the beacon mode, you basically go into the SOS mode and hit the button one more time. So you hold it for 3 seconds, and then hit it one more time, and you can see now it's a beacon. The product documentation doesn't say how long the battery lasts in those two modes, but it's got to be a fair amount, but it does go up to the full 360 lumens. So you might have noticed as I was going into that SOS mode, this other LED was on. So if I hold it for a couple seconds, what's called the auxiliary LED comes on. And this light has a high CRI, or color rendering index. It's supposed to give you better detail and better color when working on things close up. So I'm guessing it would be really good for writing or reading or doing anything with your hands right in front of you in the dark. So another feature I really like about this Nitecore is it comes with a lock. The Black Diamonds have a lock on it, but it's kind of confusing to get in. I got to look at the documentation. This one is you just hold the top two buttons, and you'll notice an LED flash up top. And then when you click all the buttons, that LED flashes showing that you're in lock mode. This is great for when you're backpacking, you throw it in your backpack, you don't want your headlamp coming on during the day and draining the battery. And then to take it out of the lock mode, you just hold those buttons and you'll notice the LED turns on. One of the other great features, it has a battery power indicator. To figure out how much battery you have left, you just, while the unit is off, hold down the red button and you'll see a series of flashes on the top here. 3 flashes means you're above 50% battery, 2 flashes means you're below 50% battery, 1 flash means you're under 10%. Great feature. So that's the functionality and specs of the Nitecore NU25. Now let's take it outside and test it out. Okay, so I am now outside. This is actually take 2. I tried this in the woods and it kind of came out really bad. So I'm trying it again in my backyard. So just to give you the layout, I have a pull-up bar back here, a dip bar, and a shed. The shed is about 25 feet away from the camera, so you get an idea of how bright these different headlamps are going to be at different distances. So first up is the 1 lumen bulb. It's on right now and it's pretty dim. It's really used for things in your tent, so you don't blind somebody that's in your tent with you. You know, really low light type situations. It's okay. You can see my hand in front of me here, and it would work great inside of a tent. Next up is the medium setting, which is designed for 38 lumens at 8 hours. And you can see now we're starting to see detail in the shed, not so much in the tree over to the left, but you can see it a little bit. And you see the pull-up bar and the dip bar in front of it. And if I walk out in front of here and actually look around a little bit, it's pretty good. This is actually what I used for hiking when I was on the Saranac 6, and you know, this lasts a long time and really is, you know, really good for the trail. So now let's show you the high, which I'm very impressed with. And this is the high. Now you can really start making out lots of detail. You can see that tree over to my left, the pull-up bar, the dip bar, as well as lots of detail on my shed. You can see behind the shed and the fence behind there. It's really, really bright this last 5 hours. This is 190 lumen, and it is almost like daylight when you're looking around at various features. This is spectacular, would be more than what you need on the trail, but if you get tired and need the brightness, this helps out a lot. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to show you the turbo mode. Right now it's on high, so if I hold it down, now we're in turbo. You can see the little bump in brightness, and you can really make out the detail in my yard. The shed looks really bright. You can see behind the shed, the tree, and even the wood pile way down there. Very impressive. But remember, this only lasts for 30 seconds, and it will automatically go down to high to protect it from overheating. Really, there's no comparison when I put that black diamond on high versus the Nitecore on high. Just Nitecore really just kind of blows it away. And in the Black Diamond Storm's defense, it does have a turbo mode. I'll show you that. And you can see it's pretty bright. You can see that pile behind the fence over there. Lots of detail on the tree. So its brightness is supposed to be at 400 lumens. So this is kind of comparable to the turbo mode on the Nitecore. So as a final thing, I'm just going to cycle through the modes. Here's low, medium, high, and turbo. As you saw, the Nitecore NU25 performs as well or better than my Black Diamond Storm for a fraction of the size and a fraction of the weight. The only thing I'm going to have to work on is how to manage the battery for day hikes and overnight hikes. I think my solution of a backup flashlight with a battery pack in it is going to be the ideal solution. If that works, this is definitely going to be my primary headlamp. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to click that like button. If you want to see other outdoor adventures, gear reviews, how-tos, subscribe to my channel. That's it for now. I'll see you guys outside.